Good evening, everybody, and I mean that literally. On this Sunday night, 8:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, welcome to another episode of 205 Live Matters. I'm just a simple man, the simple man of no EQ, and my name is Noah Foster. And as I stated before, welcome to another edition of 205 Live Matters. In this week, we'll briefly highlight the events that occurred on NXT in the Cruiserweight Championship match, as well as, of course, this week's episode of 205 Live that was main evented by a no DQ tag team match between Ole Lurkin and Danny Burch versus Devlin and Davari. Again, a new take on the old school versus the new breed, which is really have been the story of 205 Live since its basically immersion of NXT. But before we get into all that and more, of course, let me introduce you to my co-host. For those that are first time, we are what you would call the Simple Holiday. He is a family man. He is one of my closest friends in wrestling, member of the NXT team and Team NXTUK. He has his own series called The Holiday Break, Holiday Run. He's got more insight to cruiserweight wrestling and wrestling as a whole, all sorts, than I could ever hope to have. And he's just a good-hearted man that has no problem giving you a little bit of knowledge, rants, and his thoughts in wrestling. And of course, my good friend, the Holiday Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you this Sunday night?
Oh, a long weekend at work. I'm just glad to be off finally talking about some wrestling. So,
yeah, when you know you need to escape the stresses of life and the drama beyond stuff around you and people around you. I use wrestling. I close myself in my room and I watch wrestling, or I think about wrestling, or maybe I think about doing something related to wrestling on my YouTube channel. But I digress. Wrestling is a way of life, people. Anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So this week's episode 205 Live emanated from somewhere in Arizona, I believe, because the Bella Twins had their thing. Phoenix Glendale. Sorry. And of course, it first recaps what has really been a story over a month now that has basically been the encompassance of our main event tonight, as they reviewed the events that occur between Ari Davari, Danny Burch, Lee Brian Kendrick, and Oney Lorcan, in that order. So first off, as you all could remember, who's been following the 205 Live series, Lee Brian Kendrick, he interfered on behalf of Ari Davari, inadvertently to him, I might add, and helped him beat newcomer Danny Burch. And basically came out and says, I'm the best thing in the Cruiserweight division, and I expect everybody to do something. Pretty sure that he turned that into a hashtag at some point. Following the events that occur beyond that, you look like you could use a friend. I could use a friend too. Remember, I had your back. So once again, the Brian Kendrick tried to form an alliance, per se, with Ari Davari. And it worked, because following the events that occurred that match, we had Danny versus Lee Brian Kendrick, and faced Ari Davari's help, holding his hands in between the ropes, inadvertently outside the view of the referee. They picked up a win. Danny Burch, he demanded a rematch, got the match, strong start, and he literally was trying to destroy Ari Davari, only for a chair to be introduced. But before they could do more damage to Danny Burch, who comes back finally, the Boston Brawler, Oney Lorcan. I swear, John Quastos sounded like Vic Joseph in that moment he said his name. And then we go back to last week's events of 205 Live, where Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, they got the best of the Singh brothers. Shocking, right? And basically, after that, the Brian Kendrick Bar, they attacked them with chairs. They also state their claim how we are what you would call 205 Live OGs. So we can't have people like Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, even though Oney Lorcan has track Blazer too, just saying. He's contributed a lot to 205 Live. Coming in here and taking over our brand. Takeover. And anyway, they have a main event tag match next week because they were contractually obligated to compete between Tony Nese and the returning Mike Kanellis. I'm very happy to see him back. And they won thanks to an inadvertent assist from Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, who came out banged up, but got there a little bit of retribution and stood tall by the end of the night, attacking the two with steel chairs, which of course led to our main event tonight. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch versus D. Brian Kendrick and Ari Davari in the no disqualification tag team match. And that was just your opening cinematic, as Drake Maverick, he no longer kind of tells us what's going on. I don't even know if he's the GM anymore, it seems. So after we get the recaps through that, we go into our first match with two other newcomers to the 205 Live brand. They just coming off a tag team match together against the grizzled young veterans on NXT and losing. It is Joaquin Wild and Raul Mendoza. These two face each other now for the second time one-on-one under the 205 Live brand after a respectable first-time encounter where Joaquin Wild got the win. So, Chris, take me through your thoughts on this match, and what do you think so far of Joaquin Wild? We've seen Raul Mendoza for quite a while now. Ever since he's been part of the 205 Live roster, he has above and beyond shined what he was on NXT, just enhancement. But what do you think of Joaquin Wild so far? And what was your thoughts on Wild versus Mendoza, too?
Like I said, Wild is one of those guys. We already know he's from Impact Wrestling. We already know his history. We already know he can perform at a high level. Like I said, we already know the story behind his injury that almost cost him his life. His comeback story has been incredible so far. He's won some matches, lost some matches. This match, me with him, Raul Mendoza, like I said, it was a really good match. Good way to open the show. Good storytelling. Raul Mendoza getting a win. I mean, it was interesting because I'm not sure which one you're trying to build up because, as we said right now, we know Jordan Devlin's Cruiserweight champion. Obviously, you got to be building up some stars to challenge him next. So, I mean, will Raul Mendoza get an opportunity at the Cruiserweight Championship against Jordan Devlin? We'll have to find out and see in the future.
Yeah, it's fair enough. And this was a very good back-and-forth match. Once again, both men basically stalemating each other, mirroring each other practically, move for move for move for move. It wasn't until missile dropkick that Mendoza, he regained some control, but then sunset powerbomb counter out of a suplex position, Joaquin Wilder gained control. And then, what the hell? Not the top rope, but off the post? A senton bomb? Jeez. I know Joaquin Wilder almost lost his life, but man, talk about literally living free spiritually. He takes out Mendoza, gets him back in the ring, but Raul, he remembered, fake out, and still got caught with the crossbody because last time Joaquin Wild did that, he got caught with a drop kick in midair, one of Raul Mendoza's staples. Moving on from there, though, there was a roll through moonsault combination, still not enough, and then we get spin out submission. I think it was like an inverted scorpion deathlock kind of, but he made it to the ropes. Following that, wicked super kick by Raul Mendoza. Again, Raul Mendoza relies heavily on kicks. And then following that, out of nowhere, rebound, snap, German, and then he eats double knees. And so Joaquin Wild, he's setting up for his finisher, which of course is now known as the Wild Thing, where he literally suspends his opponent by the arms, gets ready to pop him up the legs, but Raul had enough wherewithal to counter that, literally send Joaquin Wilder off into the ropes, back to the middle. He goes off the ropes himself, catches him with literally a flash kick to the face, and Raul Mendoza picks up the win here. 1, 2, 3, which now means these two are 1-1. Clearly, we're going to have a rubber match. But again, a nice, respectable bout, strong opener, fast showcase. Joaquin Wilder, he's making waves on the 205 Live brand with what he's doing. And Raul Mendoza, he's going back and forth, it seems now, with these guys. One of these men could try and stake a claim to maybe the Cruiserweight title with more matches like this, but we need to see who can be the better of these two. When will the next match happen? Only time will tell. But I enjoyed it. All right. So moving on from there, as I said, 205 Live is pretty much now immersed under the black and gold banner NXT. Hence why you got the newbie, as I like to call it, now with the OGs. We go back to NXT 2 days ago to recap the events of the Cruiserweight Championship match between the Irish Jordan Devlin, and he said he was bringing a new person, a new attitude. He did against Angel Garza. He did here. Came up short. Lio Rush. It wasn't until towards the end Lio Rush goes for his final hour. This is Crash and Burns, only to get, why is this a staple of British wrestling? Someone explain that to me, or European wrestling, excuse me. Headbutt, and then that wicked Sailio suplex with the Devlin side gives Jordan Devlin the win in a very competitive bout, 1, 2, 3. And for those of you who want more in-depth information on that match, it is on NXT. I'm going to leave that to my NXT brethren, Jerry Slaughter and Stephen Osborne. Please go watch the review on Aftermatch Wrestling. But I digress. And following that, though, it wasn't really done there with Lio Rush, as post-match, they were asking, does he have a psychological advantage over you? Because we really wonder, where's Lio Rush's head at nowadays? Angel Garza, he had him for a while. He finally got past him. Jordan Devlin, though, has the title. Both these men have been jockeying words and throwing verbal blows at each other. Kings versus aces. Ace won, can't bet against the ace. And literally, Tyler Breeze, as Lio Rush is like, I'm not sure. But Tyler Breeze, he praises Lio Rush for that match, says, you get him next time. And then Rush looks disgusted, like, get the hell out of my face. So I think we're setting up for Tyler Breeze versus Lio Rush, and I think Lio Rush is going to go full heel. How will that change the dynamic of his character and his in-ring style? Only time will tell. But speaking of Tyler Breeze, segue, we go back to 205 Live, where it's Tyler Breeze versus, oh, good freaking lord, Bully. One half of the Singh brothers, Samir Singh. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw one of the Singhs in a serious one-on-one match. And even this was kind of like a squash. Couple of distraction spots, and what happens? He gets caught with a small kick, the end. I like, though, how Amy English brought up, oh, okay, these guys last week in Vancouver, it was their stunt doubles that got defeated. Yeah, I remember somebody else that used to use a stunt double, and we knew clear as day it was a stunt double. You guys were clearly there. You're not Damien Mizdow. I missed that character. Anyway, yeah, what more can I say? A supermodel kick, and then as his brother, Sunil, tries to get in the ring, he eats a supermodel kick. End scene. Clearly they're going to do Sunil Singh, I think, versus Tyler Breeze. Do I care about that match? Not really. But I will say this. The Singhs, what they might lack in wins in the ring as individuals, or you could take as serious competitors, I can take them more seriously than the B team. And hey, at least they're not Jinder Mahal's crash test dummies, and this is probably the most serious I could take them. Chris, any further thoughts on either of the Singhs or Tyler Breeze's current run on 205 Live and Lio Rush's, well, mindset?
Lio Rush's mindset, he's got to be going full-blown heel at this point. He'll feud with Tyler Breeze, and maybe this will set up the rematch with Isaiah Swerve Scott and Lio Rush, as Isaiah Swerve Scott is over like Rover. As I'm going to say at that one, he, like I said, he's a future world champion. I'm saying that if he becomes world champion in 3 or 4 years, you could say I said it first. But he is going to be a world champion someday. But him and Lio Rush can tear the house down. Now that make the dynamic where one's a heel, one's a babyface will make it even more dramatic of a match with storytelling-wise to me. So I think that's where eventually they're going to go with that. As for this match, Tyler Breeze is one of those wrestlers that is talented enough to make anybody look good in the ring. And I think if they actually had the Singh brothers have more of a serious match, I think they could have tore the house down. Tyler Breeze could have led him to a really incredible match, but they just used the Singh brothers as a comedy act here again, and just pretty much was not very long of a match and a supermodel kick, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, not much more to say. I mean, it's like Anita says, he likes when they show this aggression. I do too. Mm-hmm. But again, you need to stay on point with that aggression if you want to freaking win here. I don't know how much a Bollywood trophy can pay you versus a potential Cruiserweight championship, but whatever. Not much more to say beyond that. So moving on from there, we then go into, oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday, February 23rd. We are 42 days away from WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Oh, good Lord. Please do not be freaking 8 hours long. Anyway, we then talk about, once again, the events that occurred in last week's main event with the return of the Miracle, Mike Kanellis. And he tweets out, and I quote, "Miss you all." As one of my favorites on the 205 Live brand, brings some of my favorite matches with his intense attitude and mental breakdown at times. And definitely, Akira Tozawa versus Mike Kanellis, no DQ, still sticks out to me as one of my favorite matches on the 205 Live brand, just saying. And then, hey, he and Nice, they form a tag team. They won last week. And then Nice, he basically sends out a tweet basically saying, this is the greatest tag team that I know. I'm not singing. You got to pay me to do that. And clearly we're going to see more of the Miracle Mike Kanellis and Tony Nese as a tag team, but will we see more of them on 205 Live, where they try and insert themselves now in the NXT tag team division? That really needs a reset, in my opinion. I don't know. But then before we go to our main event, we get an announcement, and I bet you this will take the whole 205 Live next week. I've been saying it for weeks ever since 205 Live became NXT 205 Live, really. It is literally becoming a battle of the OGs versus the new breed, and now it comes ahead. And this will truly tell me where Lio Rush's head's at, as it's brand warfare. It's 205 Live versus NXT. Next week, we have a 10-man tag team elimination match. Not Survivor Series, folks. Captain Selection, the second ever under the 205 Live brand. Last time, it was more about psychological control, proving a point. I deserve to be Cruiserweight champion or deserve to take a chance at you. Hence why we had Team Lorcan versus Team Gulak. This right here, this is a statement. who really is the future of 205 Live and who can control 205 Live and NXT potentially. As next week, it'll be Team Nice of 205 Live versus Team Rush of NXT. And literally, these two men will pick 4 people, respectively, from their brands to represent their brands and prove, okay, who's got it here? The OGs of 205 Live or the new breed in NXT? We're going to finally find out that answer next week. And I cannot wait to see that. And we'll talk more about that in simple stance as far as who we think might be part of each team, what team we think should win, and what could be the most unique outcome to this. Because clearly, this is going to be the story of 205 Live next week as a whole. But also, I think this is going to yield further storytelling through NXT. Because this is going to affect people for NXT and 205 Live, without doubt. But with that being said, we then go into our main event finally. As the 1-2 connection, the Strong Style Brit and the Boston Brawler, Danny Burch and Ray Lorcan, they take on Devlin and Arya Daivari in what really was an all-out fight. Chris, take me through this match, your input, output, strengths, weaknesses. What did you think of it?
These 4 guys beat the shit out of each other. Well, these guys went everywhere on the outside of the ring, inside the ring. They literally just beat the shit out of this. If you want to see a good old fight between 4 cruiserweight wrestlers, check this main event out. These guys just tore it down, beating the shit out of each other. The right team won. Lorcan and Burch won. That was what I was happy about. Like I said, is this the end of this little feud here? We don't know yet. Like I said, we have next week's big main event that's going to be going on, which will probably take the whole show like the first one did. So all in all, I think this is actually, with them winning, this is setting up for bigger and better things between these 4 men, because in fact, I still don't think this feud's far from over.
Considering how they won, too. All the ways I could have saw this match in, I did not expect that. But yeah, before even the match could start, we find Arya Daivari and Devlin Kennedy come out. Who meets them on the ramp? Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. These guys are fighting on the ramp, at the top of the ramp. Oni gets thrown off the freaking stage. Thankfully, it looked like he saved his legs and his ankles. Still nasty landing by Daivari. And then basically, Daivari and Devlin Kennedy, they're controlling Danny Burch. And then they go in the ring for a moment. The bell finally rings, so the match is officially on. But then we go right immediately outside of the ring. And we have Daivari taking on Oni Lorcan, and we have Danny Burch taking on Devlin Kendrick. You find Danny Burch and Devlin Kendrick literally fighting out among the WWE Universe. And then as we go towards the ring, coming in out of nowhere, Oni Lorcan into the barricade out. And as Arya Daivari tries to come in, he gets hip tossed by Oni into Devlin Kendrick. And then they go back into the ring, garner some control, try to go for a fall. Equalizer comes into play. That really is at the forefront of this story. A steel chair by Arya Daivari. Who else? Following this, though, Arya Daivari, he tries to pull off an offensive move, and he gets dropped toe-hold into the chair. And then Danny Burch is not Shawn Michaels. Botch. Try to kip up, kind of botch. Oh, maybe his back was screwed up, so maybe I could give him that. But anyway, following this, though, Danny Burch, he regains some control, and then literally Burch and Lorcan, they channel their inner Dudley boys when they literally say, get the table, and the crowd explodes. And I understand where the commentary is going from. They're going wild for Burch and Lorcan. Let's be honest here. They were going wild for the table. Table was the VIP. And boy, was it used. As the table was getting set up and they were going to pretty much destroy our Daivari for it, Devlin Kendrick comes into play, and Death Valley drivers Oni Lorcan from the apron through the table to the floor. Table explodes. Both men are done. And then Daivari, he's basically taking control of Danny Burch as Devlin Kendrick and Lorcan, they're out for now. And Daivari, I always said he's like one of the best, he's the best heel to 205 Live, but I think now he's really developing that connection with the WWE Universe because he was really playing to them on a number of occasions. This was one of them. Because what does Daivari pull out? A freaking ladder. And we go back into the ring, and it looks like he's trying to send him, as he suspends the ladder on the top rope, he tries to send Danny into it. Danny counters and literally Irish whips Daivari face first into the steel ladder. Ouch. At least he wasn't busted open. Devlin Kendrick, though, he basically gets the advantage going after Danny Burch, who's climbing the ladder for something, maybe a moonsault off the ladder. I don't know. But instead, he gets a Russian leg sweep off the freaking ladder. Ouch. So once again, the heels are in control, and then I knew this ladder was going to be used for something by Daivari, and this made the most sense, as he again plays the WWE Universe, climbing it rung for rung, literally the top rung, Persian splash off the ladder, literally gets the win for his team, nearly, pinning Danny Burch, only for Orlok to rush in and break it up. And then Oni, Lorcan, and Brian Kendrick, they're going at it against each other, and the crowd finally starts getting into this match. This is awesome. This is awesome. They're loving this fight. As Brian Kendrick continues to tirade Oni Lorcan, come on, do something. You're not better than me. And Oni is called the Fury of 205 Live for a reason, as you just see his face getting that angry look, that angry grimace, the veins popping out. He was trying to unleash his inner Sam, per se, and he literally unleashes his fury with wicked chops, and he's got one of the fastest running uppercuts I've ever seen next to Cesaro, and the most impactful, too. Anyway, after unleashing that, Daivari once again grabs a chair, garners control of this match. I don't know how he was still breathing. And basically, Brian Kendrick and Daivari try to do a suplex to the chair, top up, I might add, to Oni, only to be countered by Danny Burch. He fights out of it, and Brian Kendrick gets a nice seat. And then gets running blockbuster right out of it. And you thought they were going to win there? No. So following that, there's running blockbuster off the chair, like I said, and then Oni goes over the top rope, like he normally does, literally corkscrewing his body just enough to get over the top rope and literally take out both men. And he's screaming that, maniacal, screaming has that look. So we're getting near the end here. What's left to do? Oh, I know. Let's do what? Well, all right, the last time I saw duct tape, I believe, was Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick in a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is here. At least it wasn't purple. Probably would have been nicer if it was. But they literally duct taped Brian Kendrick's foot to the bottom rope. He is incapacitated, can't do a thing, which literally leaves Daivari at the mercy of the 1-2 connection. And boy, do they make Brian Kendrick watch brutality. As implant DDT on the announce table, did not break, but probably was it for Daivari. But just for added measure, they go back into the ring because that's the only way you can get the win via pinfall or submission. And while Brian Kendrick is looking on, can't do a thing, another implant DDT by the 1-2 connection, and they get the win. 1, 2, 3. Of all the things that could have been used here, duct tape was the last one on my mind. But hey, I'm not going to argue. That match was fun. Crowd enjoyed it. They got into it, and the right team did win. Now, as far as these two, with the events that are occurring next week, there's no way this feud's over. But do you see these two in another all-out brawl like this? I don't know. It's probably going to devolve into a one-on-one thing because we know what Brian Kendrick's been up to lately in NXT UK. And as far as Daivari, he's pure 205 Live. He does nothing else, nowhere else. And Orlok and Danny Burch, tag team, singles, they've been among all three of the brands. Who knows what's next for these men? But I thought this was a really fun match, and that was it for the show. So, with that being said,
I have one thing to propose, though, on that match. If they do it one more time, our match, let's have ourselves a first tag team last man standing match between them four. Because Brian Kendrick's going to have a complaint to complain about because you had duct taped him. Now he can have a legitimate claim. Well, you only beat us because you duct taped me, so why not let's settle this once for all, last man standing. Grab the first ever tag team last man standing match where you had to incapacitate both your teammates, both your opponents. That's what I would propose. A first tag team last man standing.
I like that better than the fist fight idea Raw did that one week. But anyway, you're right, because that is something that they haven't done yet. And duct tape is synonymous with last man standing matches a number of times. It's been used on Batista. It's been used on Big Show. And those are two of the biggest, just fun moments I remember last man standing. Because, again, you're duct tape. You can't do a daggum thing. So, yeah, why not? And then Brian Kendrick can bring out the duct tape. And we'll see how Oni or Burch get out of that. But with that being said, now that we talked about 205 Live, and we literally know what's happening next week, let's just go right into some simple stances. Talking about anything Cruiserweight Wrestling 205 Live brand, I think it's obvious what we should start with. So here we go. The second ever Captain's Choice match in 205 Live history. And this time, it's a battle of brand supremacy. As we look at the present and the past of 205 Live, the OGs taking on the future of 205 Live, led by Lio Rush. But Tony Nese, Lio Rush, how fitting. These two really were like the start of the OG versus the new breed. Faced each other countless times, shared victories and losses, including Tony Nese winning against Lio Rush in a countout one time. And now these two are captains, just out of nowhere, prospectively, for their team of their brand. So with that being said, we could graph which team we think is going to win and what could be on each team, and that could probably take the whole rest of this episode, but let's try and keep it simple. Chris, in your thoughts, who would you like to see if you were to pick at least two people for each team? Who would you like to see on each team? But overall, which team you think needs to win more?
Tony Nese should be Davari and Brian Kendrick joining his team. I could name all five because you put Mike Kanellis on with Tony Nese, and then you bring somebody you would return Drew. In a fantasy world, you return Drew Gulak to 205 Live. So that's just me. But that would be my five. If you're doing Lio Rush, see, the thing with Lio Rush is a little more confusing because it's not clear where he's going. It says we haven't seen a heel turn as of yet. I would actually put Jordan Devlin on there because he is your cruiserweight champion. He needs to be showcased in this match. You put Isaiah Swerve Scott. You put Tyler Breeze, and you put Angel Garza in there because, yes, they're both, some of them are heels, some of them are faces, but they are the new breed of cruiserweight wrestling. You have to have your champion in this match to showcase your champion. So he's not going to be with the original because he's not part of the original. So put him in there with the new breed there because he is your current champion. You need to showcase him, and then you have a good combination. Everybody's got history with each other. And then let it be where the OGs pick up the win and let it come down to maybe, Lio Rush or it's like Jordan Devlin gets counted out or something where you protect him. But let it come down to where it's like Lio Rush and Tyler Breeze and you have Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis. And let Tyler Breeze hit that model kick accidentally on Lio Rush. Therefore, you set up more tension between the two for that eventual heel turn because that would allow Tony Nese to pin him. That would leave Tyler Breeze by himself against Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis. They pick up the win. The OGs win. That's what I would do.
All right, very fair points. So here's my thinking. It's Tony Nese versus Lio Rush at the forefront. That's why they're the captains. One of the two things is going to happen between those two. They're going to eliminate each other, or one of them is going to leave their team. And if Lio Rush is really going heel and you have Tyler Breeze potentially on that team, because it is captain's choice, I can see Lio Rush doing that. But like you said, Lio Rush is still really undefined. Now, as far as the teams go, there's no doubt in my mind the first person on Tony Nese's team, Mike Kanellis, easy. I sense 205 Live is going to be more heavily focused on a heel-based team because honestly, right now, the original OGs is more heel-driven heavy. But here's another thing. Could this be the match where we finally see the return of the gentleman, Jack Gallagher? And now we see what he can do as a heel. I can see NXT being the face team and 205 Live being the heel team. So my outlook is this. You have Tony Nese, Mike Kanellis, Brian Kendrick, Arya Davari, and really the only OG left because they're not going to bring back Drew Gulak because it looks like, and I'm glad to finally see this potentially, they're setting up Drew Gulak versus Daniel Bryan. Oh my God, that would be an incredible match. So your only other logical choice right now is seriously the gentleman Jack Gallagher. So Alexander stuck on main event. He already regrets his career. Akira Tozawa stuck on main event. And, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, I can see them doing stuff maybe in NXT UK during that time. Because I don't know how Tony Nese feels about Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Because, again, Oney Lorcan has history with Tony Nese as well. They faced each other previously in, I believe, the Cruiserweight tournament one time. So that's my thing about the 205 Live team. As far as the NXT team, Lio Rush, okay, obvious first choice, Isaiah Swerve Scott. These two have mutual respect among each other, and clearly they come from the same thing. But this is not just NXT. This could involve NXT UK. Think about what was involved at Worlds Collide. I could honestly see them finally bringing in Travis Banks to the 205 Live brand, or even Flashback or Webster Mark Andrews as a surprise. But keep it simple and stick with the Worlds Collide concept. I can see Lio Rush actually picking Travis Banks because, he doesn't have much history with him per se, but why not keep your friends / possible enemies closer? And as far as the other two, Angel Garza, he's now Selena's new Andrade. So I don't see him being involved here. And then I think about Tyler Breeze. There's definitely potential he'll pick him there because there's no doubt that Tyler Breeze can make a way to 205 Live, and that continues the story that you said there. And then as far as the remaining one, I could honestly see Raul Mendoza walking Wilder, fighting it out for that spot, but because Leo Rush might be more face here, and I could see the mutual respect and friendship, I could see the final person in Leo Rush's team being Raul Mendoza. Now, with that being said, I set up the teams figuratively. I looked at the team's outlook. I figured about what could be next for the potential winners or winner. And honestly, right now, with the way 205 Live is going and with the way NXT is being showcased, in my opinion, I can see the NXT team winning. And as far as who could win here, I feel like you finally get some momentum back to the guy that ate the fall in Jordan Devlin's match. Because even though Jordan Devlin's not involved here and even sent NXTUK, I'm just going to take it easy. Because, again, he's got to prepare for Dublin. I can honestly see Isaiah Swerve Scott getting the win here again. Not as a sole survivor like previously he was with only on Team Lorcan. And remember, Isaiah Swerve Scott was part of the winning team of the first Captain's Choice team. So again, I can see that history repeating here. I think you would give the win to Isaiah Swerve Scott and Leo Rush again, teasing that bit of friendship and respect, but also these two face each other one-on-one, and that might solidify Leo Rush's heel turn. Tyler Breeze just be out in the fold because Leo could inadvertently cause Tyler Breeze to be eliminated, but not necessarily leave his team. So that's my opinion. I could see the NXT team winning with Leo Rush and Isaiah Swerve Scott being your sole survivors, and that could potentially set up no one contenders match for the Cruiserweight Championship, where finally Swerve goes over Leo. Leo, he finally loses himself, goes heel, and we set up Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jordan Devlin, maybe even at NXT UK Takeover Dublin. Who says it has to be an all Irish-based show? It's awesome that they're going to have maybe some Irish superstars like Sheamus, like Becky, but let's look at, 205 Live and NXT and see what you can bring there and see what you can do to elevate the title. Jordan Devlin says he's the ace. Anyone wants this, come after it. Why not come after it on his own home turf? Without digress. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay.
But
So
also, one thing you did say, though, you got to remember Travis Banks is injured right now, so he wouldn't be able to be part of that match.
Yeah, and I think there was tease between Travis Banks and D-Brian Kendrick potentially happening again, too, because D-Brian Kendrick could find him again backstage. So you're right. So, yeah.
That was A-Kid.
Was it A-Kid?
That was A-Kid.
He
That was A-Kid that he was trying to introduce himself to the Brian Kendrick, and he said, "Let me tell you some advice, man. You don't you don't worry about that. You don't try to make friends here, because you try to make friends here, you're not going to do it. They're all going to stab you in the back. I'm just going to give you a lesson now."
I don't know why I thought Travis Banks got confronted. Maybe because I'm just used to him getting injured or just attacked or something like that. And I'm also figured about the fact that he beat the Brian Kendrick team and being Worlds Collide, but I digress. And we'll see what happens with those two, too, because who knows, with this interaction between D-Brian Kendrick and A-Kid, A-Kid might become part of the Cruiserweight division. Only time will tell. All right, so we basically just talked about next week's episode, our predictions, and our outlook. So let's go ahead and talk about some other stuff just to, wrap up the show. So, Chris, what's on your mind tonight for Simple Stances?
Well, I got our one question since I've been sharing this show on Reddit now, I have people to ask questions. So I actually can remember this question. I can remember the guy's name. I thought it was funny. The username on Reddit is Gable, not Shorty G. I wish I could make my Reddit name's pretty cool. Mine just Chris May, so whatever. So his question was on for this show was, if Chad Gable should come back to 205 Live, should he be the one after Jordan Devlin has a long title reign? Should he be the one to dethrone Jordan Devlin for the Cruiserweight Championship?
Ooh, man. Well, you already know that that Chad Gable gave my match of the year last year against the gentleman Jack Gallagher. So he definitely is worthy of being the Cruiserweight champion. Now, forget about the incredible match of the year candidate and match of the night, in my opinion, that Jordan Devlin had against Tyler Breeze, and that he's finally won this title. If you're truly going to make 205 Live go into the next stratosphere, Jordan Devlin's going to have this for a while, in my opinion. But I would absolutely love to see Chad Gable take the title off Jordan Devlin. Thinking about all the potential matches Jordan Devlin can have. Thinking about who could truly take the title off him. What can make the most sense? What can have the biggest impact? What can be the biggest change to 205 Live? You have a former Olympian and a guy that can really channel, basically be the Kurt Angle of the cruiserweight division. Heel, face, doesn't matter. Dynamicism, character, incredible athleticism in the ring. I think I would actually trade off that title eventually off Jordan Devlin into Chad Gable. As far as when, where, and what showcase, well, if Shorty D ever dies, which I hope it does, because that is still the most stupidest fucking name change in my opinion, but I digress. I probably would do it maybe Survivor Series weekend. Heck, we already saw what happened with NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown. If this potentially means the end of Shorty G, he comes back at Chad Gable. You have this cruiserweight champion representing NXT as a whole, because again, We Are NXT applies to NXT, NXTUK, and 205 Live basically at this point, as it did last Survivor Series. I say do it there, and yeah, let Chad Gable be the guy to carry 205 Live into the next year. That would be amazing. Because right now, I honestly don't see anybody in the short run that should take the title off Jordan Devlin. I see matches they could set up. Again, Isaiah Scott, after he got pinned. That's obviously the next one I can see them setting up. But clearly right now, yeah, I think Chad Gable would be the way to go with Jordan Devlin. A very popular face against a very aggressive, very cocky heel. And you would have an incredible athletic contest. So, yeah, I agree. I think Chad Gable should be the next Cruiserweight champion and should be the one to take the title off Jordan Devlin. If I were to book it, try and do it by Survivor Series or at Survivor Series. What's your thoughts on that?
I would actually do it at Takeover War Games. That's what I would do. I'd let it be the night before Survivor Series. Yeah. I would build up a program where Chad Gable's just tired of the Shorty G gimmick, and he goes back to being a more serious wrestler, like the Kurt Angle type wrestler. He could have the comedy here and there, but he could be more the serious wrestler. Because I mean, if you look at some of his style, he imitates Kurt Angle. That's who you would think. That's who you would think he was, like a second version of Kurt Angle. Why they never made him his illegitimate son is beyond me, but that's a different story. My point is, that's what you do. You let him just get tired after a little bit with the Shorty G gimmick. He just tired of it. He's like, I am just a wrestler. And then he goes out there, he starts having great matches. And then they have some kind of tournament or something like that. Or after SummerSlam, there's like a tease, like, you see Gable backstage, and then you see Devlin walking by or something like that. And, there's a little confrontation there. You plant the seed there, and then you slowly start building it up. And Devlin's like, I've beaten everybody I've beaten everybody here right now. So who's going to come? Who wants to prove that they can't beat the ace or whatever? Then you could have Gable come out there and challenge him to a match at that Takeover War Games, and they could do the match there.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, let me go off a side note then. And thank you, by the way, to that end user and all Reddit people that's been following this brand. I greatly appreciate you. I'm not on Reddit because I just don't have time to be. So I appreciate you all. One day I'll get on there. So with that being said, let's go into a side note here. We already know where the next NXT UK takeover is going to be. Dublin. And that is clearly Irish Ace's turf. There's no doubt in my mind he's defending the NXT Cruiserweight Championship on that show. It'd be a crime if he wasn't. It'd be a crime if he wasn't on that show. Period. So with that being said, Chris, simple question. How would you set up the next NXT Cruiserweight Championship match, and how would you set it up for NXT UK TakeOver Dublin? Who you think should be a part of it?
You took my question out of mine because that was what I was going to talk to you about. All right. Here's what I would do. This is storytelling wise. Okay, not many people have beaten Devlin that could be part of the Cruiserweight division. The last couple people I can think of off the top of my head that beat him, one is Finn Balor. He showed up at Blackpool. He was able to get the win on him. Excellent match at the first NXT UK takeover. Okay, he could go over there because he is from Ireland as well, if I remember correctly.
You're right.
He could go over there and stake a claim to try to challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. You could also do Tyler Bate. He's got a legitimate claim. He beat Devlin at TakeOver Blackpool too. So there's another one who can have a legitimate claim to it as well. Also, you have another man on NXT UK. Keeps telling everybody he's TakeOver worthy, right? Joseph Connors. He's about the right weight. You could set them all up, 3 up in a triple threat match to determine a number 1 contender, or you could do a fatal 4-way match and have them tear the house down. Connors will get his way into being proven he was takeover worthy. You have Balor, who is, like I said, from Ireland as well. That would also carry over from the story where he has already beaten Devlin before, and Tyler Bate could be in there because he could have a claim because he's already beaten Devlin before, just recently before that Worlds Collide event where he won the Cruiserweight Championship. You could put them all 4 together, have another spectacular fatal 4-way match for the Cruiserweight Championship. That's what I would do.
It's one of those things, though, when I think about title matches, that is a staple of NXT. Sometimes they do a title match in multi-person fashion, and it tears the house down. They did it in a ladder match for the NXT and NXT UK titles, respectively. They've done it now in multi-person matches for the Cruiserweight title on a TakeOver. They've done it now for the women's title on a TakeOver. And they have yet to do it really for the actual top-tier championships on both brands. So I think of it like this. Finn Balor, you're right. He was the first person to beat Jordan Devlin on the big stage, TakeOver. But Finn Balor says he'll be back on NXT, I believe, this week to discuss his future. And honestly, right now, if the plan isn't Finn Balor versus Adam Cole, baby, WrestleMania weekend for the NXT Championship, I'd be bloody shocked. So that takes him out of play right there. Then you have the man that beat Jordan Devlin in what is, again, I think, a match of your candidate and was my match of the night, and I called it, in Tyler Bate, big, strong boy, who just beat your guy, as you said, Joseph Connors, who keeps trying to state, am I worthy? I don't know if you're worthy yet, but you definitely can hold up with the best of them. That was an incredible match against Tyler Bate. But because of that history, I can see Jordan Devlin coming out and costing Tyler Bate in a number 1 contenders match. But I can still see him being in play against Jordan Devlin for that title. Some reason, though, I don't see them doing a one-on-one match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I just don't. I feel like because it's going to be WrestleMania weekend, no, not WrestleMania weekend, excuse me. I feel like because, it's going to be a big takeover, you're going to have a showcase name, you're going to have a showcase match, and you're going to have him leading it. Would they literally do Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin again one-on-one for this title, and Jordan Devlin goes over Tyler Bate? That's a bold prediction. And I don't think so. And then I think about another person. Cocky, pompous, Daftis. Noam Dar. Noam Dar could be a potential to challenge Jordan Devlin for this Cruiserweight title. And it could lead into a sub-feud again with Tyler Bate potentially, because he and Tyler Bate, they also have history. But my question, like I said, how would I book and what would I want to see at NXT UK TakeOver Dublin, Ireland for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match against the Irish Ace Jordan Devlin? It just seems obvious. Yeah, it just seems obvious to do a freaking multi-person or a one-on-one. So I just don't know. Maybe this is just being bold. And I know they did it last TakeOver for the tag titles, but I have yet to see in the freaking existence of this Cruiserweight title a ladder match for it. I think I would actually want to see a ladder match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and then you have the Irish Ace standing at the top of it by the end of it all. Now, as far as who would be in it, I feel like it has to be at this point because you really want to be above this guy. And eventually, somebody has to go over Tyler Bate besides Walter. I guess I have to say it. I think, honestly, I can see Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate in a ladder match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. There. Because, again, Finn Balor, I see him going after the NXT title. Joseph Connors is going to continue to try and prove why he is worthy. But I just don't see him being involved in this match. I can see him costing Tyler Bate this match. Because I don't know what's next for the guy. And as far as who else could be in this match, maybe Ligero. He has history with Jordan Devlin. And I probably would just leave it at that. A triple threat ladder match. So there you go. That's my booking. I would put Ligero, Tyler Bate, and Jordan Devlin in a ladder match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. He's probably going to rename it NXT UK Cruiserweight Championship because now it's UK property. All right. So with that being said, that's all that's on my mind. So Chris, anything else you want to share tonight?
Yes. Do you think it'd be likely that Jordan Devlin would pull something that Lance Storm did in WCW in 2000 and rename the Cruiserweight Championship the European Championship when he's in NXT UK?
Ooh. Man, you talk about a real ego trip, but also its ownership of the best wrestling in the world, and that is in because again, UK, he's from Ireland. I don't know if he was from the actual United Kingdom. I probably would think so, but I honestly think right now he's saying he's going to take that home to Ireland. If he was going to rename it anything, he'd probably name it the Irish Cruiserweight Championship and probably make it green and black. So to answer your question, I say no. So what's your counterpoint on that?
Makes sense because of the fact they've done it before. People have changed designs of belts before. They
Oh
have
yeah,
altered the belts to custom their character. He keeps referencing himself as the Irish Ace. So I will take your point and say maybe he will change that belt design. Maybe he will call it the Irish Cruiserweight Championship. Maybe
make it
something
tangible.
like that to make it make it more of his personal title as he keeps
Exactly.
going along the way and retaining the title, proving that nobody can beat the Ace. Then he could do something where he makes his own personal design of the Cruiserweight Championship and maybe has the emblem being like an Irish Ace with an ace on it, something creative. He could do something differently with it.
Yeah, and he'll change the W from a W to NXT because again, he is the top cruiserweight in the world, but he's basically top cruiserweight of the NXT cruiserweight division that coincides across the UK and the US. There's no doubt in my mind that W is going to go away. It's going to turn to NXT, and I can see him making the belt black and green, and that would be a unique title change design. Because again, this title was just created, but we all know W loves to change the color of leather. But at least with Jordan Devlin, it would make sense. And black, green, and silver, that's a great combination if you do it
Mm-hmm.
right. With that being said, I'm officially done here for the night. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for tuning in to another episode of 205 Live Matters. We hope that you found this engaging, gave you some food for thought, and would love to hear your feedback and anything else you would like us to discuss or your standpoints on the Cruiserweight division here in the US or in the UK or what you think should come to it. With that being said, Chris, this is always a pleasure, sir. Anything you want to plug and where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, The Holiday Christopher Mace. Humbled honor, I have 393 people that are subscribed, watch the show, and show support, whether you like or dislike or agree or disagree with my opinions. Hey, that's what it's about. Just starting a conversation and getting people's input about their thoughts about wrestling in general. Any organization that I watch, I'm sorry, folks. I know some people ask me to do an MLW episode. I don't really have time to watch it with so much other wrestling going on. Maybe in the future I will start doing some of those, but until then, we'll just have to wait and see. There's so much wrestling on pretty much every day.
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you'd like to ever be a guest on a holiday break, please feel free to find me on Twitter. You can message me on there, and we can set something up. I do have some guests set up in the future, so we'll have some new faces on the channel here in the near future. And like I said, you can support every other member of the NXT team. Go to our wrestling content playlist. All the newest episodes are up there. They have a lot of great content, a lot of great shows, and supportnotq.com.
Well, there you go. Simple as that. As always, thank you, sir. A pleasure. You always got great content. You always bring a lot of great spirit and an open mind to this forum, and I greatly appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you that support me in this journey. But for those that are learning about me for the first time, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured out by now, just from my background, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling in all of its forms, the good, the bad, the ugly, the backyard, the independent, the professional, the sports entertainment. So if you want to talk to me about anything wrestling, the five brands of WWE or NWA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, my number one, AEW, Impact Wrestling, and so much more, and independent wrestling, sport pro wrestling, folks, look me up on Twitter, NoDQ.com/Noah takes you to my Twitter page, or at Enfoster1916. Follow me on Instagram at Enfoster1916. Give you a nice hello, my brief thoughts, retro spreaders in wrestling, something to brighten up your day, a simple moment, and maybe some nice food. Also, you can follow the YouTube channel here, youtube.com/YouTube/NoahFoster210. You'll find new content here every week and nicely organized playlists for you. I recently started a new series called AEW Spark that gives you a retrospective on that week's episode of AEW Dark, as well as a little bit of a look into the coming events at AEW Dynamite, my thoughts on Reagan, and so much more. I hope to actually do similar to what Chris does with the holiday break and try to bring in weekly guests. So if you are all elite or want to talk about all elite wrestling with me, you can reach me out on Twitter and just let me know. DM me. I'd be glad to have you. I believe this week I'll have my friend Gary Joe, representative for our Dynamite family, on the show. So stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned as I will be back with Team NXTUK, potentially, based on our schedules, to predict AEW Revolution as a whole, as well as talk about briefly, if any news comes out, New Japan Pro Wrestling's anniversary show, as well as the New Japan Cup. Please stay tuned for more of that. And also, yes, as part of Team NXTUK, and if you haven't figured it out by now, support NXTUK. The reason I got into YouTube, forever indebted to the NXTUK family. Buy a shirt, buy a cup, buy a tapestry, buy a sticker, buy a mug. Support my friends. Just do it. NXTUK.com/merch. Take you to the store. Follow NXTUK.com on my social media platforms. There's a comment section every official website, and your opinions matter. And yes, I'll be bringing out forum for the Galaxy. But you can react to anything. Polls, columns, memes, gifs, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily best from WWE with a little bit of AEW. And as always, I'd like to close. And also, if you haven't already, please follow hashtag 205LIVEMATTERS Facebook group. I always got to remember to do that. Support your wrestling outlets for big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, 100% authentic, unapologetic, unscripted wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, please stay tuned again this week for AEW Spark, AEW Revolution predictions, WWE Blood Money predictions, and so much more. And of course, 205 Live Matters. And please, again, thank you for all tuned in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit that bell, know when next video is going to go live. Hit the subscribe button. Help me grow the channel. Thank you to the 120 that's been with me on this fun little creative YouTube journey. I hope I encourage many of you to pursue your passion and showcase your outlook in whatever you choose to love, wrestling, gaming, or otherwise. Hi, Jen. Keep doing your stuff in WXW. I love that. And until next time, for the holiday Christopher Mace, I'm just a simple man of no DQ, and my name is Noah Foster. I always wish that you all take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Enjoy wrestling. There's something out there for everybody. More stuff than ever. That's why I can only cover so much, but I have my heart in NJPW, just like Chris has his heart in NWA. And yes, we'll be definitely talking about the Crockett Cup together. But until next time, which again will be some point this week, probably Tuesday night, I hope you all, as always, have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
And remember, for those that are tuning in for the first time, this might as well be a shirt. This will be a weekly staple to the day the brand dies or I cannot talk. And I do have dental work coming up, so don't be surprised if I do the Sammy Guevara famous cue cards. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Oh, but that'll be fun. Anyway, while I can't say it right now, I will continue to say it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, in my heart I truly believe that 205 Live matters. Always.
Indeed.
And Funaki will always be SmackDown's #1. I wish he was back on commentary. But hey, he and the Yamaguchi guy for Japanese commentator did great. Sorry, pulling off in the weeds. Good night, everybody.